all down. I do a couple loops just to kind of lock it in, and then we'll apply that veil. So the veil, I kind of just bunch up a little bit just to make sure. That looks good, Justin. Oh yeah, that's really puffy. He likes puffy nipples, don't we all? puffy little.
Joe, you're gonna have a reputation. I'm
Happy
just saying.
feet and puffy nipples.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone knows me, I already have a fucking reputation. So.
That's so
I
great.
got that. Sugar
crumbs.
Confetti licks.
So I got this.
I don't know what that means, but it sounded dirty too.
Yeah, it is dirty.
Alright, so what are we doing with the hackle or the...
Yeah, the flash. Did you lose it? What's that? That's not it.
I just had it. Oh, here it is.
Nice.
Okay.
So yeah, you're gonna want to make like a little cape almost.
On the head?
Yeah, just above the head. And how you do that is you just kind of put it down, wrap it a couple times.
Does it feel like that's too much? I have.
It doesn't necessarily matter. It's supposed to be.
Am I wrapping around the eye?
I just kind of like lay it.
Or you lay it flat
And
like a
then
wing?
do a couple wraps. And it is kind of like a wing. It looks more like a veil. This is actually just to mimic an egg that's already been fertilized, and the little,
Well, that's cool to know.
So it's like an exploding egg.
Right.
It's been fertilized, and that's why.
It's got its happy feet. And
Yeah.
It's like puppy
It finished,
nipples.
Yes. Happy feet and puppy nipples are all done. And then I'm going to go ahead and... Looks good. You can't... There's literally no way to do it wrong. So it all just turns out however it does, and
I
it
just
looks...
don't make sure I don't lose it, though.
That depends on how you tie it on and how much weight you
So
do.
you tied it and you... So we're done.
Yeah. Oh, I'm done. I mean, you could...
I'm done.
I was just like looking. I'm like...
So let's look around and see.
Mine looks like trash.
It looks pretty good.
I'm good with this.
How's that?
I wish I could flip this up more.
I could say if you tie it a little closer to the tip.
That's what...
No, it's okay. Just do this. Here, check this out. There's a better... Oh yeah, I see what you're doing. Pulling it out, and then you could even just kind of slide it more forward, and then wrap it, and then
I see what you're
pull it
saying.
again. Yep. That way it has like a start at the beginning and then end in the back.
Like this, right?
Yep. And then you could even see what comes off after you pull it a couple times. So don't throw that. Re-put that in. There you go. Yeah, because you could always... having too much is not a bad thing, because it will come off on its own in the water and everything else. So. But... because if you pull on it a little bit, you'll notice that some comes off, which you could always save for another fly or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good.
This bitch is going to be so heavy. It's going to sink.
Well... that's the idea, and actually, I do have some lead core in here somewhere in this mess of materials, but you don't have to put that in. So yeah, the whip finish is definitely...
Oh, I just went cross-eyed.
Because it is.
It's so like hard to like stare at. It's so thin.
Yeah, it is. It is a tiny, tiny.
Doesn't
little
help
thing.
with the sun staring in my eyes.
Sun on this rainy day, the artificial sun.
It is really bright, nice light. Yeah, I have trouble using the whip finish too.
No, I'm not doing it. Alright, so loop.
Yep. Loop, swoop, pull.
Alright, so loop around, right?
Yep, and then wrap that
Over the head.
over the head, yep. And then pull tight, because that'll cinch it down nice.
Oh, you just took off.
Just missed it. That's okay. You could just use that to do it again now. You'll get it. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful, Keith.
I don't like it as much as I like the first one.
I like that one though. I really do.
Yeah, I suck at this finishing touch.
That's okay. You'll be fine. Once you cement it down, it'll hold up nicely.
All right, so I did one loop.
And then do 2 loops. Well, 1 loop with 2 wraps in it. Helps if you do like a little finger here, like that.
Yeah, see.
That's okay. That'll help it stay on. That will actually help it stay tight here. Oh, well.
So what got you into fly fishing, Joe?
Like
what made you transition from...
I saw people fly fishing when I was out there trout fishing, and all I used to use when I went trout fishing was just a pinched off night crawler, half a night crawler.
That's
you know, and when I noticed that these guys were peeling out these fish left and right with their fly rods, I'm like, I gotta try that. So I eventually went and bought a fly setup, and I bought, beginner flies and everything else, and I'm like, after a while of fly fishing, I'm like, I gotta try and tie those, because I'll save so much money. And not only that, but if I catch a trout on a fly that I created, chances are good that I'm gonna feel more fulfilled.
Definitely.
So...
It's like the best feeling in the world, and like this year has kind of been like shitty for fishing and stuff like that. But when I went my first day, the place was packed. The creek was. But I was the only one ripping fish.
Yeah.
And when you have that, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like an ego thing that you're ripping these fish out. These guys
and I caught all these fish and you didn't.
Hell yeah.
It's so satisfying. But it's like artwork-wise, your fish.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, with the flies, you legitimately cannot tie them wrong, especially for salmon. For trout, it's a little bit more finer tuned, because trout are like,
because
they're observant. Like, they could see, a fart come out of your ass, before you could even feel it coming out. Yeah, yep. They can see the bubbles.
That's warm water. Stay away.
Stay away.
But trout are smart. The Happy Feet penguins are warning the trout that we're coming. Literally.
But salmon, they're just on a mission.
They don't care.
I'm surprised.
These fish will actually swim through your legs. Yeah. Will smack into you as they're flying by you at a million miles an hour. You'll see them rushing out of the water. So
I read an article. When did I read it? I think it was in Jerry Dude, and I brought a bunch of fly fishing magazines with me.
Nice.
And I was reading, and there was actually a story about this guy who went fly fishing for salmon during the salmon run. And he had one goal in his life, was to catch salmon on a fly rod compared to what everybody else is doing.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. And he said when he went out there, and he was like, to be the only one person doing this.
Yeah. Very fulfilling.
Because not a lot of people go fly fishing for salmon during the salmon run.
Yeah, no, the majority of people are out there with spin cast rods, and they are legitimately slinging,
foul hooking,
foul hooking intentionally, and they're slinging line for no particular reason. Like, the idea is, in 1,000 casts, if you hook into 10 fish, you're doing good. With the fly rod, it's kind of like a total different animal altogether, because you could make 10 casts and hook up 9 times, since the fly sits in the right water column, you have a better chance of doing it. And actually, when you have your line in the water, it sits directly across from you. So you're doing this, and you're like finding a fish.
Right.
Since their mouths are open as they're going up through the water, you're passing your line through their face.
And they're just like, oh, what's that?
So yeah, like, literally you're smacking them as they're like doing whatever, like they're getting some booty.
They're not eating. It's one mission, but to be out there with a fly rod.
Yeah.
Getting them.
Dude, wait.
Catch
Just
on
wait.
my
It's sick.
Crayola looking.
Yeah, dude.
But like, I've had
We'll
opportunities.
put those in the KDJ podcast. Fucking.
People are just like, yeah, just go up there and I just rip the line up and then you snag them and then that's it. And I'm like, no, I want something that's gonna come
finished.
and eat it.
Products are looking pretty spicy, especially that.
Yeah,
like
Mamma
that
Jamma.
one's the best one.
I like that one.
feel like it's even better than mine. Even
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that.
he knows.
I'll take the
He knows
compliments.
that's
Listen,
true.
I can't believe it came out like
It did come out really
I was surprised.
this guy was hanging out with the sea turtles too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did too much blow.
That fly was definitely out having late nights.
It's definitely
every
going to
day
have a
during the
lot of
week.
undulation, a lot of bright colors going on, which
Like,
is good.
Bright flashiness.
Yeah, there's no such thing as too flashy.
Are we going to tie one with the eyes on it?
Yeah, we can do one with eyes.
I really want to do one with the eyes on it.
Okay. Let's get some with eyes.
I got the okay that we can go.
Sweet. And then my
down.
finished products look like...
Oh, go down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, we'll go try and
I'm definitely down.
throw some...
I mean, it's good weather to rip.
Why not? Why not?
I love going down there with my fly rod because everybody's like, I'll have like, say where you go.
I do actually have my fly rod in my
There's
in my
cabins
car.
with like back
I
porches.
just don't have an extra
and, like,
fly rod.
It's always like the older dudes that just sit out there and they'll just watch me as I'm just like ripping cats.
That's awesome.
Alright, I'm gonna kill the video. Tune in next time, the KDJ podcast. Come on down. For this.
Pause it.
Yeah, pause it.
Pause.
Shutting the video down.